And we're not stopping there. The best questions, they mess with the rules, right? They poke holes in the old assumptions. This is where the uncomfortability comes in, right? They open up doors you didn't even know were there. Like, well, what if we ditched all meetings for a month just to see what happens? Or what if we went to a 4 day work week and gave every team member a paid month off each year, right? And these things sound wild, right? Until you realize that it might actually work better in some scenarios, right? Or what if you partnered with a competitor instead of fighting them?
All right, welcome, welcome. How many of you have ever felt like you're running on a hamster wheel? I mean, you're putting in the effort, the hours, the sweat, but you're not really getting anywhere. You're facing the same challenges, the same frustrations, and the same brick walls. I know this feeling intimately, okay? We all do it at some point. Whether it's in our businesses, our careers, our relationship, that sense of being stuck is a universal human experience. But what if I told you? What if I told you the secret to breaking free isn't about pushing harder? It's about thinking smarter, differently, out of the box, and into the infinite. And when we use the term infinite, it's not a dark, endless void of space, but rather a place of endless choices, free from limitations and old belief systems that may be weighing you down. And what if that shift in thinking started with something deceptively simple, like a question?
Something to think about. Hey everyone, welcome to episode 156 of the Infinite Wisdom Experience. My name is Gary, and that's my partner Ross. And for those of you who don't know us yet, we love to play in places that most people avoid. And we're talking, those invisible spaces where possibilities hide in plain sight and where success isn't earned, it's remembered. We've always said that we're not here to just feed you answers, even though you may get some. It's more like we are here to hand you a lighter and help you to navigate what happens when you start setting your assumptions on fire. So, whether you know it or not, somewhere deep inside you, there is a version of you that's been whispering louder and louder, waiting for permission to take the wheel. And the door to that version, it's not locked. It never was. You just haven't asked the right question yet. So today we're pulling at the threads of reality itself. We're bending the rules, we're flipping the script, we're shining a light into the corners your mind usually skips past. All right? And if you hang with us till the end, we're going to drop a micro hack that's so potent, so uncomfortably precise that it might just snap something into place for you even before you even know it happened. And this isn't just another live stream today. Okay. Consider today the beginning of an evolutionary jailbreak.
That's so cool. So I remember when I was struggling with a profitability issue at a company I was running, I was convinced that I had it all figured out. I was working tirelessly, following the proven strategies, but nothing was working. I was frustrated, I was exhausted, and I was just ready to give up. And then someone I respected asked me just a simple question. What if you're solving the wrong problem? And boom, that question hit me like a ton of bricks. It forced me to step back, to reevaluate my assumptions and see the situation from a completely different angle. And that's when the breakthrough happened. So I want you to think about it. Answers are static, they're fixed, they're often based on past experiences and limited perspectives. Where questions, on the other hand, are dynamic and fluid. Done right, they're open ended, they invite exploration and discovery. As where answers, they're basically closed doors. Questions open, they open those doors. And as a matter of fact, from a neuroscience perspective, okay, I'm going to geek out here. Questions, they're going to fire up different parts of our brain as opposed to what answers do. They spark curiosity. They engage our problem-solving neurons. And yes, we have specific problem-solving neurons and forging new connections in our minds. So asking questions will primarily utilize dopamine for motivation and reward clinical, and norepinephrine, which deals with focus and attention. And then you have acetylcholine for better learning and memory. All of these put together in the brain in an active exploratory state to go beyond. While answers, they utilize serotonin for satisfaction and well-being, just kind of the ah. And then GABA, which brings calmness and a closure feeling. Think about that. And these provide a sense of completion and they reduce your mental tension. And yes, of course, this is a very simplified explanation, as the brain is relatively the most complex creation known to man. And there's many different neurotransmitters, I understand that, and that are involved in all these cognitive processes.
So let's be real here. None of the greatest ideas in history started with someone saying, "Yep, I got it all figured out." It's not the way they started, right? They started with a curious little question. Uh, so, did the Wright brothers know how to fly? No, not even close. But they dared to ask, what if we could? What if we actually could? Did Steve Jobs immediately know how to shrink a computer into something that you could fit into your pocket? Nope. But he asked, what if tech could be simple, beautiful, and even fun? See, questions like that, real, audacious, what the heck are you smoking kind of questions, they light a fire. Not because they give you the answers right away, but because they break you out of the same tired thinking that's kept you stuck. And here's the thing, it's not about just tossing random questions into the air and hoping for the best. It's about asking the right ones, the uncomfortable ones, the kind that make your ego twitch a little. Okay, you know the ones. Is this really what I want, or just what I settled for? What am I pretending not to know? What if I'm actually playing way smaller than I'm capable of? Okay, maybe that's hitting some emotional strings for some of you out there, but the questions you ask yourself, right? The questions you ask yourself, they steer the whole damn ship. They shape the way you notice the things you notice, what you believe in, how you show up, and even what you get out of life. So if you're consistently and constantly asking, what if I mess this up? Or what if I'm not enough? Well, guess what? Guess what kind of story you're writing? It's one where fear holds the pen. But when you start asking, what can I grow from here? Or what would happen if I gave this everything I've got? you start to flip the switch, right? You flip the script, you switch on courage, and you stretch into something bigger. That's where the real shift begins.
Exactly. Because how many of you have ever caught yourself asking a question that was holding you back? A question that was fueling your doubts, limiting your potential, or keeping you stuck in the same old patterns. And it's okay. We've all been there. The key is to become aware of those disempowering questions and consciously choose to ask something different, something better. So, how do we do that? How do we learn to ask better questions, questions that unlock our creativity and generate innovative solutions? So, I'm going to share a simple but remarkably effective technique called the so what drill. And this is how it works. You're going to start, oh, hang on one second. You're going to start, um, hang on one second. I just lost my place. So, um, we're going to start with just a simple, it challenges assumptions by forcing you to justify the importance of the problem. And it can lead to, oh man, it can lead to creative solutions by highlighting the real stakes. So just like we did last week, Gary and I are going to go back and forth. So here's how the so what drill is going to work. So kind of take notes on this. We're going to throw stuff back in the comments too for you. So I'm going to make a statement, and that statement is simply this. Employee morale is low in the marketing department.
So what? Why does that matter?
My response is going to be low morale can lead to decreased productivity.
So what? Why doesn't decreased productivity matter?
Decreased productivity can result in missed deadlines and lower quality work.
So what? Why do missed deadlines and low quality work matter?
Because missed deadlines and lower quality work can damage the company's reputation and lead to low clients or lost clients.
So what? Why does damaging the company's reputation and losing clients matter?
Because damaging the company's reputation and losing clients can lead to decreased revenue and potential layoffs.
So what? Why does decreased revenue and potential layoffs even matter?
Because decreased revenue and potential layoffs can create a cycle of fear and further decrease morale, making it even harder to attract and retain talent.
All right, so if you guys have noticed, it's kind of like the 5 why exercise that we did last week, right? But this is with a twist. It digs, it presses, it sometimes uncomfortable, right? Or both
Mhm.
ends. And it refuses to let the surface level problems off the hook, right? So, for example, if you start with that something basic like employee morale is low, which, let's be honest, it kind of sounds like a throwaway line HR would drop in a company memo that no one actually reads. But when you keep poking with, so what? You suddenly start unearthing the real stuff, right? Low morale leads to drop in productivity, leads to missed deadlines, leads to unhappy clients, leads to revenue that takes a hit, leads to people get laid off. Now everyone's walking on eggshells. Okay, from that one simple thing, it digs deep. See what happened there is what started off as some vague meh problem turned into a business critical must fix now solution situation, right? And that's the power of asking better, deeper questions. It's like putting your brain in x-ray mode, right? You stop treating the symptoms and start uncovering the root causes. And here's the cool part. You don't just stop at diagnosing the problem. The real magic happens when you use those insights to fuel solutions, right? Solutions like, well, okay, so what can we do to lift productivity, right? Which is another question. Or how do we raise the quality bar without burning people out? Again, another question. Or how do we secure revenue and people's jobs? Or even what can we shift internally to make this place top talent, the make this a top talent that actually people actually want to work with and work at. And bottom line, asking the right questions doesn't just get you answers, it gets you clarity, it gets you momentum, it gets you back in the driver's seat. And we're not stopping there. The best questions, they mess with the rules, right? They poke holes in the old assumptions. This is where the uncomfortability comes in, right? They open up doors you, hmm, right? Pushing the envelopes, testing your paradigms, right? What if you flipped your entire marketing approach? Did something different? What if you stopped asking, can we do this? And started asking, how could we make this work? Those are the types of questions. Those are the questions that can change the game.
Yeah, so think about Netflix. They revolutionized the entertainment industry by asking, why are we still driving to a store to rent movies? They challenged the assumption that people needed physical DVDs and created a streaming service, honestly, and you know it. It changed the world. So I challenge you to go back, okay? Go back to your life or your business and identify at least one assumption that you can challenge with a what if, a why not, or how might we? Question. Write it down and start exploring. Just exploring. It's all we want you to do right now. Just explore the possibilities. Because once you find the possibilities, it'll just take its own course. So don't just think about it, do it. Take action, experiment, see what happens. You might be surprised at what you discover. Because we've covered a lot today, and we've talked about the power of questions to shape your perspective and generate creative solutions and break boundaries. We've learned that questions are more powerful than answers, that they determine what we focus on, and that they can unlock our creative potential. But the most important thing I want you to take away from this is that you have the power to change your life, change your business by changing the questions that you ask.
And one of the reasons our live streams hit different is because we don't just talk at you, right? We give you stuff you can actually use, and you can use right now, today, tonight, tomorrow, and every day after that. We call them micro hacks, quick, powerful shifts you can make that move the needle on your life. So here's your micro hack based on today's topic. And it's something you do right before bed. Why? Well, because how you close your day sets the tone for tomorrow. And when you start asking better questions before your head hits the pillow, your mind starts serving up better answers while you sleep. Now, I call this the power down with purpose ritual. And here's how it works. Step one, you're going to set the mood. However that works for you, but what we suggest is about 15 or 20 minutes before bed, start winding down, right? Get the lights down low, maybe some chill music, turn off all the screens, and start to make this your sacred time. Okay? Then the second thing is you want to start to ask these three questions. You grab a journal and close your eyes and reflect on these questions and ask yourself. First one is, what's the one thing I'm truly grateful for today? Okay, I want you to write that in journal, and then below that, whatever comes up is as a result of your reflection, of your inner reflection. It could be you're grateful for your dog, or hot coffee, or that moment you didn't lose it in traffic. Whatever it was, feel the gratitude and document it. Okay. And just take a few moments to do that, however long that goes for. Maybe it's one or two things. Maybe you go on a tangent and do a bunch of that. Then the next thing you want to ask is, what's the one, what's one little win that I had today? Acknowledge it, right? It may be that you actually hit a deadline, right? Or that you didn't swear at somebody today, right? Either way, it counts, whatever it is, whatever the win is, right? One little win. That's all we're asking. And if the win is just, hey, I got to my journal, I started the question. It could be just as little as that. It doesn't have to be grandiose. None of these do, right? Then the third question is, what's something I can let go of right now? This is a big one for many people. Some people it's easy. I'll let go of that. What's something I can let go of right now? Something like, the an annoying comment that's kind of buzzing in your head that someone might have said about you, or that own self-judgment that you had about something you did earlier. All right. Whatever that mental loop is, do what I tell my wife to do. Just call it Chuck and chuck it. You don't need it. Just call it Chuck. It's our signal for, hey, we don't need that. Let's let it go. Okay. And then step three is you're going to prime your mind for tomorrow, right? So before bed, you're prepping you're closing the day and you're prepping for tomorrow. So then the question you're going to do then is, what's the one thing I'm looking forward to tomorrow, even if it's small? Maybe it is that cup of coffee. Maybe it's seeing that certain individual. Maybe it's having a conversation, right? Anticipation is a powerful energy, so use it so that you're waking up into a day that pulls you into your greatness. Okay. And then the second question is on that preparation for the next day is, what's one kind thing I can say to myself right now? Just be your own hype person, right? Show yourself some love. What's one kind thing I can say to myself right now? And jot that down. And then just go ahead and float into sleep. Put away the questions. And here's the cool thing. Even if nothing comes up when you do these, if you ask the questions and nothing comes up as a result of it, ask the question anyways. Because for the next 24 hours, if your mind knows that you're going to ask it again, it's going to search for answers for you. Okay. So when you're done that, put the questions away. Don't go back to scrolling. It's time for bed. Start to slow down your breathing. Listen to calm music track or some sound in the background, and just let yourself drift as those questions linger. Okay. And here's why this works so well. When you focus on gratitude, you literally start to rewire your brain to look for joy instead of stress. When you acknowledge your wins, even the tiny ones, it builds your confidence and reminds you that progress is happening. And when you let go of whatever's weighing on your mind, it clears the mental clutter that keeps you stuck in old loops. And thinking about what you're looking forward to, it actually primes your mind for positive momentum. And when you show yourself a little kindness before bed, it plants the seeds for inner peace and growth. But the key we talk about a lot in different ways. The key is to do
Mhm.
this consistently. Don't just do it for one night. Do it consistently. Test it out for 30, 60, 90 days and see the difference. And then continue it after that for as long as you can, right? Remember, it doesn't need to be perfect. It doesn't need to be long. Just show up for yourself night after night and watch what shifts. This is how you end the day like a conscious creator and start the next one with clarity and power.
All right, so we challenge you to become a questioner, a person who is constantly curious. constantly seeking new perspectives and constantly challenging the status quo. It's what we're built for. Because when you question everything, you open yourself up to a world of possibilities. The future belongs to those who ask the right questions. So go out there and question everything, unlock your creative potential, and amplify your influence in the world. And with that, we'd like to thank you all for attending, whether you're here live or on the replay of the stream. And as you can see, we're kind of tightening up our live streams, keeping them shorter and denser with more plug and play usable content, like the micro hack. And we'd love to hear your feedback about the format. Love to hear your feedback of how you're using this or what you're doing right now, good, bad, indifferent. It's important to us. And as you are our number one concern. So if you're seeing us for the first time, we thank you. It brings us great pleasure sharing life-changing content with you and the hundreds of thousands of other followers, as well as our two other private groups. So check them out. The links are in the comments. And oh, and I almost forgot, please comment, like, and subscribe. And if you already have, then please share this with friends, coworkers, and anyone you think would benefit from our work. Because you sharing also helps the algorithm's distribution for us as well. So we'd greatly appreciate it.
All right, before we send you back out into the wild, beautiful mess of your life, we want to leave you with something that we say every week because it's worth repeating. And that is that we dare you to be exceptional, not just good enough, not maybe next time, not I'll get serious after the weekend. We're talking today, tomorrow, and every day after that. And remember that being exceptional isn't about being perfect. It's about implementing what you learn and learning from what you implement. That's mastery in its simplest formula right there. Okay. So thanks for hanging with us, whether you're, like Ross said, whether you're tuning in live or watching replay in your pajamas with snacks. No judgment. We truly appreciate you being here. You could have been anywhere doing anything, and you chose to grow with us, and that really does mean a lot. So we'll be seeing you next week on Infinite Wisdom Experience. Stay bold, stay curious, and live exceptionally.
Thank you,
Be well,
everyone.
everyone.
See you then.